As a Defence Force, we've got to work in places and with people that have problems amongst themselves and various groups. To do that, we have to be able to operate without prejudice. The start point of that is making sure that we have no prejudice within our own organisation. We have to be an organisation that takes people that's based on their value, not on their background, whether they're male, female, whatever colour the skin is, whatever religion or their sexual orientation, it does not matter. A core part of ensuring we do that is to have the courage to stand up for who we are as individuals, as leaders and as an organisation. Be proud of what you are and stand up for what you are. You must have the courage to struggle through. Talk to others who have also been through similar things. You are not alone. We're an organisation that takes people for their merit, and that ultimately comes down to what our role is, to protect others.
My name is Tim De Ritter. I'm a private in the New Zealand Defence Force.
I'm a corporal in the Royal New Zealand Air Force.
I'm a pilot officer in the Royal New Zealand Air Force.
Kia ora, I'm Sue Russ.
I'm a squadron leader in the Royal New Zealand Air Force.
Civilian with the New Zealand Defence Force.
In the Royal New Zealand Navy.
The New Zealand Defence Force.
And I'm a flight lieutenant in the New Zealand Defence Force.
I grew up in Oamaru, a small town in the South Island.
It was a small community, so we generally knew everybody that we went to school with.
That stereotypical Kiwi attitude of just laid back and enjoying life.
When I was growing up, I think I just assumed really that I was straight like my friends seemed to be.
All the other boys were talking about girlfriends.
The topic of conversation was, what girls have you met recently and who have you been talking to? And
which poster am I going to put on my wall of this gorgeous guy? And I was sort of looking at that gorgeous guy being like, yes, he's studly, but...
Sometimes I'd look at a member of the same sex and think twice about the situation. And
there was another girl in the hockey team that I thought was really amazing, and then one day I realised what I was feeling. I just kind of looked around and went, oh, I'm in love.
Picturing myself with another female didn't seem wrong.
At that point, it's like, that explains that, and that, and that, right.
That was where my heart was headed, and that was what I could feel on the inside.
I was gay, and that was how it was, and that wasn't going to change for me.
I think what scared me was being different. I didn't want to be gay.
There was worry that perhaps people that didn't get me might refuse to be my friend or disown me.
I started to get insecure. I started to wonder if there were other things that were wrong with me.
If I am gay, or doesn't that open up many other possibilities?
Could I just live with a girl anyway and still have the kids and the dog and the white picket fence?
There was a lot of hatred and fear played out through the media.
Gays and lesbians were lesser people than ordinary folk.
There were no, what I would consider, regular gay people out there who people respected and spoke well of.
In society, we're told that you'll find a girlfriend and you'll settle down, you'll buy the house.
If heteronormativity is the way to go, and I'm outside of that, then clearly I'm wrong.
It took so much effort to cover my tracks and pretend to be something that just didn't come naturally to me. And it just wore me down.
I can only really compare it to being at the bottom of a well.
And it's a very hard place to get out of if you've got no positive reinforcement coming in to counteract that.
There were many things going through my head. Some very dark thoughts. I contemplated suicide. I attempted suicide.
There was only sort of one avenue for me to go down. There was only one choice.
Because at some point you have to make a stand for yourself.
I had got to the point where I was ready to do it, and I just had to go suck it up and sit down with my parents and tell them.
The worst reaction I could imagine of coming out to my friends and family would be losing them.
I kept walking close to that precipice and then turning away.
I really feared rejection, actually.
I didn't know what to do, I didn't know what to say.
I think I just knew that once you say it, you can't unsay it.
You've only got one family, so if your family doesn't accept you, then it's just this horrifying feeling of, what do I do now?
I decided that the best way forward was to accept it and to tell my friends, and then that was going to become part of me.
The expectation that I had of the outcome of telling my friends and family was totally the opposite.
She apparently burst into tears when she first read the letter. And she wrote back and she said, "It's cool."
He told me of going through the process of shock and anger and disappointment and worry and finally pride at the courage it took me to sit down with him and tell him.
"Mum, how do you feel about grandkids?" And she went, What have you knocked some girl up? Have you got her pregnant?" And I went, No, completely the opposite, I'm gay." And she went, What? And couldn't take it in for a little bit, but after about a minute she started crying, she hugged me and she said, "I still love you." And that's when I knew that it was all fine.
There's no barriers anymore.
It's great to have got through all of that stuff and to be absolutely out to everyone.
The thing that I take away most of all is that it was my own expectations and prejudices that I had to overcome.
To say it like it's something that should be accepted and something that I'm proud of and something that I want people to know, because there's nothing wrong with that.
The bad parts of life now are the same as everyone else. They're worrying about bills and spending too much on the weekend.
I have a family, I have a partner I love and beautiful stepdaughters these days.
I now feel I can share my personal experiences and my relationship stories.
Life is so much easier when you can concentrate on being you.
What I would say to any young person who's struggling is don't do it on your own, it's too hard.
There are people out there who care, there are people out there who want to help you.
You've got to be brave and stick at it.
That's the thing you don't appreciate when you're 15, is that the people who are making your life hell at 15 won't be in your life at 20.
What you're going through right now does not last forever. It does get better.
So hang in there because it absolutely gets better.
It gets better.
It does get better.
You will get through, it will get better, and you will be awesome.
It gets better.
It gets better.
You don't need to be ashamed of who you are. There's strength in vulnerability, and it does get better.
You can be happy just like everyone else, and a little bit happier, let's be honest, because life's fabulous.